Once again, my name is Olamide Shogbamu, and I'll be taking you through Microsoft Excel. Please let me know in the comment section through the emojis if you can see me and you can hear me. Like if you can see my screen and you can hear me. Thank you very much, Ajela. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ajela. Thank you. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Rafael. Welcome, 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 welcome. I welcome you to the screen. Please, can you still see my screen? Yeah, okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So we are starting now, and before we start, I would like to take us on a run on where we stopped the last time. So on Monday we looked at the interface of Microsoft Excel, and we were able to look at how to visually explore data. On Tuesday we looked at data manipulation in Microsoft Excel, and yesterday we looked at data visualization in Microsoft Excel. So like I said, this series is going to be a block of knowledge. We are building on what you have learned before. And today we are going to be learning about advanced functions in Microsoft Excel. We are going to be looking at logical functions and lookups. Yes, logical function and lookups. Okay, so let's go straight to it. Please, are you with me? Let me see your reaction in the comment section. That is how I will know that I am not alone. So, what are the objectives for this lesson? So, by the end of this lesson, you and I should be proficient in using logical functions and lookup functions in Microsoft Excel for data analysis. So, what you learn is basically like the objective. You are going to learn how to use logical function. Example are the if function, the and function, the or. So advanced lookup function like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, and match function. So we'll be doing a practical session too. We're applying logical functions to like keyword scenarios, and we look at how we handle errors when we get error after using probably logical function or an advanced lookup function. The logical function in Microsoft Excel. What are logical functions in Excel? So for this class, for it to be interactive and for all of us to enjoy it, I would like you to open your Microsoft Excel. Before I continue, I will make available the data we are going to be using for this class. So just stay on the screen to copy the data, and I'll be dropping it in the chat section too. So just allow me to navigate through the data. Okay, yeah. So this is the link to the data that we're going to be using today, and it is available in the chat section. Just copy and paste it, and fine. Okay, so I'll be waiting for us like to get the data. The data is now in the chat section. Try and download it, um, and open it in your Excel workbook. Try and download it and open it in your Excel. So once you've done that, let me know in the comment section. Once you've done that, let me know in the comment section. Yeah, I'm waiting for your response before we proceed so that we can move on. Please, can you still see my screen? Can you still hear me? Thank you very much, Oluwayomi. Okay, wait for 1 more minute and then we go back to the main. I want you to note that the file you are downloading is an Excel workbook. So when you are trying to import it into your Excel, import it as a workbook. Okay, so thank you very much. Yep. Yeah, we are here. So what are logical functions in Excel? So like every other functions, like every other course, when we hear the word logic, it's always telling us this or that. So, and I'm very sure it's not our first time of hearing the word logic and operation. So it's just the idea of logic and operation that we are going to be applying for Excel when it comes to logical function. So Excel logical functions allows us to determine if a given expression is true or false. So you can choose to perform another thing based on the outcome of your check, like the outcome of what you have discovered. So if this particular expression is true, you can decide to do something else. Okay, so I see somebody saying we should drop the link to the data set again. No problems. That is why I'm here for you. So I'll just do that. So we have just copy and paste it in your browser. Um, yeah, we should be able to download the data with that link. So like I was saying, once we are able to check if an expression is true or false, we can then decide to do something else based on our check. So if it is true, we can decide to go a direction. If it is false, we can decide to go back and do something else. So that is what logical functions allows us to do in Excel. It can be used to categorize data entries based on the values of their cells. So if I am saying if I can categorize data as true or false, and at the same time I can categorize data in any other way, like in two categories. I can say, okay, this set of people are students, this set of people are not students based on my logical expression. So they can be used to specify which action happens next after checking a cell. So the basic logical functions that we have in Excel are the if, the or, the exclusive or. So this X or is simply means exclusive or function. So that's what I miss in Excel. We have the and then we have the not. So the not is like the inverse. So let us start with the if function. With the if function, so you okay, if you have opened your Excel successfully, you can try to like run examples that I'll be mentioning to confirm what I'm saying and to follow along the class. You can use the worksheet that is named logical functions. Logical functions. I want to be sure that it's a worksheet that you'll be seeing. Okay, so the if functions evaluate a condition and return one value if it is true. It returns another value if it is false. Mind you, you are going to be the one specifying those values that you want it to return. So if you want it to return true, you specify true. If you want it to return false, you specify false. So this is how it goes. Equal to if A2, remember A2 is a cell reference. So if cell A2 is greater than 60, we want to say that this person has passed. And if it is not greater than 60, we want to say that this person should try again. So that is basically how if functions work in Excel. So in this case, we can categorize the students based on those who passed and those who are to try again. Yeah. So please, I hope you can still see my screen and you can still hear me. So Another logical function that we have is the OR function. So this OR function, it checks if multiple conditions are true. Like I can try to specify up to 2, 3, 4, up to 127, I guess, conditions in Microsoft Excel, and it will check my range that I have specified. If the conditions are true, it will return true. If the conditions are false, it will return false. And let us note how the OR logical expression works. OR will return true if at least one of them is true, and it will return false if all of them is false. That is how OR works. OR is like a how do I put it now? It looks for one that is true. It's just like an alternative. So if this is not true, maybe another one will be true, or this. So it looks through the whole condition. So if one of them is true, it returns true. It returns a Boolean value. So this is, you are not able to specify what you want it to return. It just simply returns an OR function. So you can try this too. If you have a cell A1, check what it will return. We are still going to be having a practical hands-on session when we get to the practical side. So we have the XOR. The XOR, like I said, it stands for exclusive OR. So this is like saying that this function is OR exclusively. It means that exclusive means that two things cannot happen at the same time. They don't go side by side. Let's say, for instance, now I am sleeping, and then I also have another condition that says, so don't worry, I'll explain the difference between the if and the or again. So, okay, let me just take it again. The if condition, let me go back my slide a bit. Although we are still going to be seeing more examples on it, but let me go back on my slide a bit. Just for the sake of people who don't understand the if yet. The if allows you to state a condition. A2 is greater than 60. If I were you, I would just open my workbook. I'll click on a cell. I'll put any value there. Any value, I can put 100, I can put 120. And then I'll go to another cell and try to use if condition on it. So you can click a value, note the name of that cell. You can put like 70, then go to another cell that is empty. Now write this condition that you see on the screen. Now, this if condition, the difference is that it allows you to specify what will return. Like the if function allows you to specify what will return. If this condition is satisfied, return pass. If this condition is satisfied, is not satisfied, return try again. And let us note that we cannot directly, although if allows us to specify multiple conditions, but we don't use the if only. There's another logical expression that allows us to specify multiple conditions. But when we come to the OR function will allow us to specify multiple conditions. Look at this. This is A1 greater than 10. This is B1 greater than 5. If we do this with the if function, it will not work, except we specify, like, there's a particular function that allows us to do that. So this also does not allow us to specify the value that we want to see. It only does what? It only returns true if at least one condition is true, and it returns false if all of the conditions are false. So I was explaining the XOR. So the best way is to take it as exclusive OR. So it's telling you that two things cannot happen at the same time. So if two things cannot happen at the same time, then if one is true and the other is false, and they are exclusive, it will still return false because if one is true and the other is also true, it will return false because two things cannot happen at the same time. I hope you get that explanation. I'm using exclusive OR, and I'm saying I am eating, which can be true. And I'm also saying I am sleeping, which can be true. So if I say, if one condition is I should be eating, and the other condition is I should be sleeping, exclusive or we say that the two cannot be true at the same time. I hope you are with me, you get me on that. Exclusive or we say the two cannot happen at the same time. If you get that my explanation, please react in the chat session. So I'll further buttress on exclusive or. So exclusive or will be true if one condition is true. Exclusive or will be true if one condition is true, and it will be false if even number of conditions, even number, remember we have two, we have four, we have six. If even number of conditions is true, it will be false. So that is how exclusive or works. So another one is, thank you very much. Another one is the AND function. So this function allows us to return true value only if all of them are true. Remember, like, all is like optional. One has to be true. The opposite or the complement of all is the and. Like, and is telling us that everything has to be true. So if you remember our set theory in school or our logic and reasoning in school, we remember that we have the union and intersection. Union can satisfy that one of them is there. Yes, it's fine. Intersection will tell you that everything has to be there. Like, so that is what the AND does. So in this case, if B2 is excellent and C2 is 50,000, that is when it will return true. If one of them is true, it will not return true, it will return false. It has to satisfy all the conditions. And this not is the inverse of it. It's like an inverse function. It returns false for what is true, and it returns true for what is false. So that is what not is. When you want to specify the negative of something, that's when we use the not logical function. Please stay with me. We'll soon get to the practical section. But we advise that you try to practice this with your Excel sheets open. So you can use the logic worksheet on the sheet you downloaded to practice some of this. And when you are stuck, don't worry, we'll solve it out together. So we move to the next slide. So the if function, it does a lot more than just sorry, I'm trying to okay. The if function, it has a lot more function than just allowing us to do the specify one condition and return values. So there are different ways we can use it. And that is what I'm trying to explain in this slide. So the different way we can use the if function, we can use it as a simple if. That is the first one that I have explained. So with the sheet that we have downloaded, the logic function, the logic worksheet, you can actually input all this and it will give you a value. Input it somewhere and it will give you a value. Although I'll be taking us through the hands-on when it is time. I mean, like after this sheet. But you can input this simple if. Look at how a simple if statement goes. It says, if C2 is greater than B2, say God. And if it is false, say copy. So if you look at our worksheet that we used yesterday that talks about income and expenditure, you realize that we are trying to make a decision now. So we want to know if we should cut our expenses or we should copy our expenses like to the next year. So if C2 is greater than B2, which is saying that if our expenses is greater than our income, we should cut the expenses. But if it is not greater, we can copy the expenses into the subsequent years. Another way we can use the if function is the multiple ifs. And this is the one I'm trying to tell you that allows you to specify multiple conditions. You see that it is not ordinary if now, it is IFS. This has this add S to it. So the ifs allows us to state multiple conditions. So here now we are trying to make like after we have made a decision to copy or to cut, what is our plan? We want to invest. If it is much, we want to invest. If it is less, we are not investing. So what this multiple if does is that it allows you to specify multiple conditions, like a simple condition with multiple options. Yeah, that is the word. A simple condition with multiple options. This is what I'm trying to say. Your condition has to be under the same column. You cannot specify a condition from trying to say, okay, let's just take it as it allows us to specify multiple conditions. Look at this option here saying if C4 is greater than 4,000, we should invest. It returns this value, invest. Remember, if function allows us to return a value that we want. So this will tell us that invest. Okay, I'm also checking another condition that says if B7 is greater than 4,000, we should also invest. Then this one that is here is saying if C7 is less than 4,000, do not invest. So that is what is here. We can try that out too. So this allows us to like specify multiple options for one condition, which is invest or don't invest. So we have another one, which is the nested if. Like there's a lot of way to write a nested if function, but this is like the best way. The first one is like they use the AND function to join all your conditions together. All your conditions. Use AND function to join them together and then specify them under your if condition, like your if logic. So this is it. I have two conditions. I want to nest them. Like I want to put them inside each other. So I say if B5 is greater than 4,000, that is a condition. Please, if you have any question, you can. Yeah. So if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. I'll be picking it. I'll try to. Don't worry, for those of us that did not get those functions yet, when we get to the hands-on section, I'm very sure the practical aspect will throw more light to it. So for the nested if condition, it allows us to like put more if condition into one. So this is what happens. You can specify your if condition in an AND function. Remember, an AND will only return true if all the conditions are true. So if we want to satisfy all of these conditions, we have to put it in an AND function. But if we want only one of the conditions to be true, or maybe necessarily not all of them, maybe two or three of them to be true, we can specify an OR function and then put it inside the if logic. So this is how it works. The if function, this is my condition, B5 is greater than 4,000, C5 is greater than 4,000. I have them inside the bracket and this will return probably true. And if it is true, it means that I should do, this is the value that it will return, B5 minus 1,000. Or it will return 0. We get to this when we get to the hands-on section. So this if function also allows us to like do more calculation, like some if and some ifs. Remember the difference between if and ifs. If is a simple condition, it states only one criteria and it gives the output. Ifs allows us to state multiple criteria and gives the output. So here I'm using a sum if to like check to like make a sum. So I want to sum based on two conditions. So the first one is I want to sum. So it combines the sum function and the if function. We can either use it for a simple if or multiple ifs. This also works on other arithmetic functions. So this is what this part is telling us. It's saying that some ifs, that is, this is our text column. So check this range, sum it. So this is our criteria. This is our criteria, and then this is the uh, how will I put it now? Okay, I think I'll be able to explain this better when we get to the practical section. This is our criteria, the value at which we are checking. Then this is the text, this is the criteria, like the condition that we want to sum with. This I3 is the condition of the sum, and then this B2 to B13 is what we want to sum actually. So this is another condition right here. Sorry for the noise and interference. I'll try to speak louder so that you can hear me. Okay, let us move on. So, advanced lookup function. So allow me to explain this before we go to the. Yeah, I'm really sorry for the background noise. Really sorry for the background noise. Okay. Let us quickly look at the advanced lookup function. Yeah. So this is an introduction to the advanced lookup function, and I'll be explaining it very soon so that we just take the Excel straight and then can call it area. So the Excel advanced lookup function can be used to find certain values within a data range. So yeah, thank you very much, Damilare, for helping us drop the link again. So the advanced function will help us like look for a particular value. Once if we know the value, it's just like a find function. But the find is limited, like advanced is like, oh, I can use advanced to find. And when I find, I can specify what I want to do. Or I can print out something else based on what I have found. So it says it can be used to find a certain value in a data range and retrieve a corresponding value from a different column in the same row. So that is basically what the lookup does. It's just like look up this, okay, look up this. Once you have seen it, then print out a corresponding value to it. So this feature let us look up data over several sheets and return numerous results. We can also do multiple criteria search with it. So the lookup function is advanced. The reason why we call it advanced is that you can have a workbook open, like not a worksheet now, a workbook, an entire file open, and then you can have another entire file open somewhere else, and then you can look up data between those two files. So that is what the lookup does for us. And the way we can do this is using the cell referencing and the exclamation mark. So Excel has multiple advanced lookup functions such as VLOOKUP, which simply stands for vertical lookup, HLOOKUP, which simply stands for horizontal lookup, the index, which stands for the position of a column or a row. That is the number position of a column or a row. That is what we mean by index. And then the match function. The match function allows us to like match a particular value based on the number. So the index and the match are used together side by side when it comes to Microsoft Excel. And then we have the XLOOKUP, which can do both VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, and max. It can do the three, like it is more advanced than VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and the index and the max function. So, just stay with me. So I want to explain what the VLOOKUP does for us. So this is what the VLOOKUP looks like. If you try to use the VLOOKUP, I'm really sorry for the background noise. I apologize. If you look at the VLOOKUP, it's a function that in Excel allows us to search vertically across a column. And this is how we use it. When you type in the VLOOKUP, it allows you to specify the value you want to look for. Okay, you want me to look for something. What do I look for? That is the lookup value. Then the table array is like, where should I look for it? That is the table array, the range of the data sets that you are looking at. That is your whole data set. Now you are now going to like spec mention a column index number, which is the number of which is the position number of the value of the column to look from. Now that is the reason why we are specifying our whole data range. So the VLOOKUP, let us look it again. The first argument that you give it is the value you want to look up. The next argument you give it is the table you want to look at it from. That is why I said we can have two workbooks in different places, and then we are still able to specify the name of the table and the column. It will read the columns in the table. So the first thing you do is you enter the value you want to look up, then you enter the range of your table. So once you enter the range of your table, Excel automatically understand that you are doing a vertical lookup. So the heading of your table is going to give it index, which is the first one will be 1, the first column will be 1, the second column will be 2, the third column will be 3. So now you are going to input the index of the column that you want to look for vertically. So if you are looking for a data in column 3, you are going to specify the value of what you are looking for. You specify the range of your table, and then you specify the column at which you want to look at it for. If it is column 3, you write 3. Then you look at the lookup range. The lookup range is now telling you to select the column. So you select the whole column for the lookup range. And that is how the VLOOKUP will return. It will be able to find whatever value you are looking at, and then it will return that value or any value that is corresponding to it that has been specified. So we can move on. So HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP does what VLOOKUP does, but it does it in an horizontal way. Does it in a horizontal way. So HLOOKUP function is a predefined function in Excel, which allows us to search horizontally across the row. The lookup value must appear in the first row of our table. Now, this is where it gets a little bit technical, where people kind of like don't like the H lookup. Like people are used to VLOOKUP more, and then they don't really look into H lookup. But H lookup is also very similar to VLOOKUP. It allows us to specify the value we want to look for, and then we have a table array to specify our table. Then the row index number. Now the row index number is let's say always 1, because the value you want to look, the lookup value must always appear in the top. When you are specifying your lookup, what you want to look for, specify it in at the very top. It is better to draw a small table outside, and this is where my small table is from a bigger table, so that the first row will be heading, then the next row will be the value you want to look up for. Yeah, we are going to be explaining the H lookup when we get to like the hands-on session. So the table array is the range of the data sets. The row index is the position of the row to look for, and then the range lookup set it to true for range and false otherwise. So it can look for a range, or if it is not a range, it's just one entry. So, but by default, it is always set to true, assuming that our column, we have more than one column, so our lookup is going to be in a range. Yeah, let's move to the match function. So the match function returns relative position of a specific value within a range, allowing a precise lookup. So this is like more precise. When you put your lookup value and you input your lookup range, it will return the position index. That is the number or the position number that your value is occupying. That is what it will return. If it is occupying row 4, match will allow it to return row 4. If it is occupying row 5, the match will allow it to return row 5. And the match type is actually optional if you want to like return if you want to like return the exact value, specify one. The smallest default, okay, the default is by 0. Option it is an optional argument. So let me just mention this here also, because we are looking at this argument now. If you look for this H lookup, you see in square brackets range lookup. This range lookup is optional, meaning that we can decide to put it and we can decide not to put it. This match type too is optional. We can decide to put it and we can decide not to put it. If time permits us, I'll show us what this match type does when it comes to advanced lookup in Excel. So let's move. Uh, so some people are finding it difficult to download the dataset. So this is what you should just do. Just copy the link and paste it in your browser. It is that way you don't have to type in a wrong value and then you can be able to download it directly. So once again, the link has been dropped. Please, if you want to follow the class, try to download the datasets before the hands-on session. Okay, so we have the index. So like I said, the index is used alongside with the match. So most of the time, when one returns the position number, the other one will help us to return the value. So that is why index and match, they work side by side. The index function returns a value or a reference from a table or a range based on specified rows and column numbers. It's often used together with the match function, and this is how it goes. In the index, you specify your array, which is your data range, specify the row number, and most of the time, the row number is always in form of match. So instead of us having a row number here, it just puts a match function that will look up for a particular value. So, it's not all the time that we can always know the row number. So, but a match function can help us to return the row number. So in that case, you can just put in the match function to return the row number. And these arguments that are column number and area number, they are optional arguments, and it is not needed for the function to work. So the X lookup, which I say does all the work altogether. So we realize that this X function, X lookup, so this is supposed to be lookup, not lookup. So the X lookup does more the function of the V, the H, the match, and index. So the first argument that it takes is the lookup array. That is specifying our data range. Where do you want it to look up for? Where do you want it to look? Then, the lookup value. What do you want it to look up for? Then the next one is the lookup array. Where do you want it to look? And then the third one is the return array. Oh, so if I'm looking at this, which corresponding array should I check to print? Yeah, so if you are using Excel, your Excel should be like 2013 upward. So Onyeka just asked which version of Excel am I looking? I guess probably you are using an old version. Like I said, XLOOKUP is a new function that wraps up VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So it starts from 2013 upward. You should be able to see XLOOKUP in your Excel. So then this return array is telling you that, the H will return a subsequent column. The V will return a subsequent column, while the H will return a subsequent row. So this return array allows us to specify the array we want to return value from. It could be horizontally. We can specify a range horizontally, or we can specify a range vertically. Then the match mode I'm not going to be talking about this if not found, but let me just explain what it does. So what this if not found does is that, okay, after I look at it, I look up for it and I can't find it. What should I return? So you can specify that return NaN, return error, return zero. So you can specify that there. But the match mode is a type of find. How should I find it? So we have like three options. So the match mode can be zero, the match mode can be one, the match mode can be asterisk, can be two also. So we are going to make use of this in the hands-on session. So let us move on. So there are several ways you can actually use the X lookup, and I'll be talking about three of them. So the simple X lookup, and this is how it looks like. So now if you want to practice this, you can open up the sheet that I labeled as lookup. So if you input this code somewhere, we have to do this together. We have to do this together. So somebody should please help us with the attendance link. So I can see that a lot of people can download the data. Please give me 1 minute. Let me confirm that I can still download the data so that I know what I can do. Yeah, I can still download the data. So if you go to this link, let me drop the link again. You still well to copy the link. Don't edit it after copying, just copy and paste in your browser. So once you open this link, just go to file, and once you get to file, go to downloads. Once you get to file, go to downloads. So you'll be able to download the workbook like that. So this is the example of a simple Excel. Sorry about that. This is an example of a simple X lookup. So this X lookup is going to be looking for a data that I have specified in cell L2. So I've specified what I want to look up, my lookup value in cell L2. And my lookup range is from A2 to A86. So it is going to return the values that are corresponding to it from F2 to F86. So the that is what the simple X lookup does. So the next one is the nested X lookup. So this is like nesting a lookup inside a lookup. Now, if you look at this simple X lookup value, we realize that it only takes one search. It can only allow us to search for one condition. Like I can only search for L2. But what if we want to search based on multiple conditions? Like I want you to satisfy L2, and at the same time, I also want you to satisfy, say, M2. So that is where nested X lookup comes in. Nested X lookup allows us to like satisfy multiple search. So we can specify the data to satisfy multiple criteria using the nested X lookup. So we specify a first lookup saying that look for L2 from this range. So when it's time for us to specify the value we're supposed to return, we will not specify a corresponding range. We specify another lookup function such that it does not return the value immediately. It actually looks up the value and then returns it. So we also have the X lookup with wildcard. If we have a lot of data set, like a very wide data set, and yeah, okay, welcome. If you have a lot of data set, like a very wide data set, So we don't know the specific, like, or we don't want to input the specific value to look up. We don't want to input it finished, like completely. What do we do in that case? We can use a wildcard. A wildcard contains like the possible characters, so it can suggest for us. So it allows us to find data even without specifying it completely. We can find the character by starting some characters in it. I'm stating some characters in it. Like probably I want to find a string called umbrella from my role. I can specify UNVRA and use the asterisk sign, which is a wildcard, to complete it. Or let's say I want to look I want to look up for unemployment or any words that starts with UN in my data. So I can specify UN and use asterisk to complete it. That asterisk will tell us that you look for UN and then any other word that have letters after UN falls under my category. That way it can fetch for unemployment, it can fetch for unavailable, it can fetch for unsatisfied. And that is what the X lookup with wildcard does. So let us move on. So I said using a wildcard makes our search flexible. Like it it makes the statement flexible. So let us move to the next slide. Okay, now we are at the practical session. So I want to stop sharing my screen now so I can share my Excel sheet and we can practice before we come back to error handling in Excel. So allow me to allow me to stop sharing. Okay, allow me to stop sharing so that I can share my Excel. Okay, yeah. So I'll be sharing again. Yeah, so this is me in Excel, and you should be seeing lookup and logical. So if you have loaded only lookup, just go to data, get data from file from workbook. I think I have my data on that document now. So once you click it, import, you should be able to import the one for logical. So you'll be able to import the one for logical. So just click import and then you see lookup, which will input the lookup. I mean logical, which inputs logical, then lookup, which inputs lookup. So we are going to be starting with the logical. We're going to be starting with the logical, so I'll cancel this for now. So let's start with the logical. So we have months, and then we have income, we have expenditure. So the first thing I want to do is I want to practice a simple if function. I want to practice a simple if function. So this is how it works. So we want to make a decision to say whether to cut expenditure or to copy our expenditure plan. So I come here, I name this column expenditure. I mean decision. So I name this column decision. So what I want to do is a simple if statement. So this is the rule. The rule is that if my spending is more than my income, I want to cut my spending. So I'll either return cut. And if it is normal, I want to copy mine. like the way I spend the money. So I'll do equal to if. That is a simple if logic. So I have my bracket. So like I said in the last class, Excel like try to guide us through writing this function. So it's saying what is the logical test that I want to do that? What test do I want? So I want to say the test is that if this expenditure, remember cell referencing, the best way to do a cell referencing is by actually clicking on the cell. So I'll just, so someone said I should rotate my screen. Okay, I should zoom in my screen. Oh, sure, I can do that. So let's see. I don't know why this is not working. I'll try it. Okay, so let me just escape from writing the function, then I'll zoom. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen better now. Someone said I should, but I hope it's better now instead of rotating my screen because I'm actually using, yeah, I can rotate it, but it will disorient my laptop. So, okay, so we can proceed from there. So we'll do if, so we have to start with the equals, then if, so cell referencing is best done by actually clicking on the cell we want to mention. So I'll say if this is greater than this, that is my logical test. What do I want to return? If it is true, I want to return quotes. So remember, I'm writing a text here. So we can come here. I'm writing a text here. The best way when you're writing a text like a word, like sentences, that is not part of the function, it is not a calculation. Put it inside a quotation mark so that Excel can represent it as a string. So return quote. Then if it is false, then return copy. So that is what we want to return. And then you see we get copy for this guy. We get copy for this guy. So this guy is copy now. So remember that we did a relative reference in here. So we can fill it with, we can auto fill it. You can come here and double click. So when you double click it, you automatically fill. Come to this icon that is very under the cell. And you double click, it will do a flash fill for you. So we can see our decisions now. Our decisions are here. So if I spend more, so I know in January, I'm okay. In February, I'm okay. In March, I need to cut my expenses in March. Probably maybe because of after Valentine and all. I need to cut some things. April, I'm okay. May, I need to cut my expenses. So that is how that works. So if you get that, can I see your emojis in the chat session? Can I see your reactions in the chat session? Oh, I can come again on that. I can come again on that. Okay. So, um, let me just do that again. Oh, sorry, this is not. Yes. So I'm here. I hope you can still see my screen. So let me do that again. Let me Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. So please follow me again. So what I want to do is that the logic is that if expenditure is more than income, I want to create copy. If it is not more than income, I want to return copy. So I'll come here and say in the formula bar equals to if. Remember, the if conditions allow us to specify what we want to print. So if this happens, like cell referencing, it's best to click on the cell. So if this is greater than, you can type the greater than by yourself and click on the income. If this is a logical expression, C2 is greater than B2. So we are typing the next arguments now specified by a comma. So if C2 is greater than B2, what do we want to do? If it is true, we want to cut. So I said you can wrap it up in a quotation mark. So say cut, let me use small letter or true. Then if it is false, we want to do what? We want to copy. So you say copy. And then you can close the bracket. So pressing enter those that for us. So you can double click here or you can click and drag. So you can see that. Now I hope you get it. Yeah, thank you very much for the emojis. Someone says, how did I import the logic, please? I did not import the logic. You click on the cell that you want to reference, cell reference it. So you can click on the cell that you want to reference and, oh, sorry, my mouse is behaving badly. So I apologize for that. Okay, for those that don't get that yet, please stay with us. You get it. So we also have the ifs condition. Someone said, what if the income is equal to the expenditure? That is a great question. So what it will do there is that, okay, let us try it. Let us try it. So let us put this one at 6,500. And let us see if the income is equal to the expenditure. So it says we should copy because that is what it says we should copy. But there are some times where you write a function finish and it will print error. So once it prints error, what happens is that we need to do if for an error handling, and that is the part that comes after this. So allow us to like move very fast so that we can get to the part that treats error handling. So if we are making a decision, what is our plan? Like, what do we do with the money we got? Since we have said we should cut it, we should not spend it. So what is the plan? Now that is the next thing we want to do. So I want to create a new compliance plan. So the plan is to either invest and do not invest. So I want to use multiple, I don't know why this mouse is doing this way. Just please bear with me while, okay, so let's just continue. So what we want to do is we want to specify multiple conditions. If this is greater than this, and if this is also saying copy. Okay, let's say it this way. Let's do it this way. If this is greater than 4,000, if income is greater than 4,000 and my expenditure too is greater than 4,000, it means that I have like that particular period, I have money. So I want to invest. So I want to specify two conditions. If this is greater than, so let's just follow me as we move. If income is greater than 4,000 and expenditure is also greater than 4,000, I have made an assumption that there is money at that particular period of time. So instead of me spending like the whole money, I want to invest. It doesn't matter whether my income is greater than my expenditure. I'm not using this. I'm not using this decision to make my investment plan. So I'll come here. Remember the function to specify multiple conditions for if is the IFS. So I'll go by saying IFS. So don't forget the equal to sign. IFS is equal to. So you're saying what is the logical test? The first logical test is that if B2 is greater than 4,000, comma, I also want to do if C2 is greater than 4,000. So, but before I do C2 is greater than 4,000, it will also say if B2 is greater than 4,000, what should I do? Because by the time you look at this function here, it's saying logical test one, value if it is true. That is what it is. So I have to say, oh, when it is true, what should you do? If B2 is greater than 4,000, I want to invest. So I say invest. Then I go to the next condition, logical test two. If C2 is greater than 4,002, I want to do it. I want to invest. So this is my condition. I can specify as many conditions as I like up to 127, like I said. So you can just press enter. And you see what happens here. This is saying not a number. This error is an error that happens when you have something that is saying not a number. So let us look at our function and try to fix it. So it's saying if this is greater than 4,000, return inverse. Then if C2 is actually 2,800, is greater than this, also return invest. So why is it saying not a number? Yeah. B2 greater than 4,000. So let me try something. The else statement is not necessarily needed. Yeah, it's not necessarily needed. So if logic test one, logic test C2 greater than 4,000. Yes, this is actually so coming, I want to check something. If this is greater than 4,000. Okay, this works. So if I change this to ifs and I specify my test one, my value zero one, I can also specify my test two. So let me do it this way. So I'll just say tests. Okay, all right, I'll check that. Okay, it seems I know what is wrong. So it's returning in for it's returning inverse for some guys. This is greater than 4,000. This is greater than 4,000. Okay. NaN error is actually okay. There's a way we can handle it, but I don't want to handle it now. The reason being is that this is not greater than 4,000 and this is not greater than 4,000. So it's saying not a number, not a number, not a number, not a number. That is why it's saying not a number. But you can see that it actually works for that. That's greater than 4,000. Actually, I can try something else. It supports ifs. I can try something else. I can say, but I'm not sure it works for ifs. I know if I wrap it under if error, it will. Okay. How can I can try this too. Let me see this. If the not yeah, so it does not take this. So we are correct actually. It is. Um, so we are actually correct based on the way Excel allows us to write the if function. Okay, let us go to another so that we can save time. So, okay, somebody's saying 4,000 is not 4,000. Do you want us to try that? But I believe that, oh, I've seen the error actually. If you see the way I wrapped this for institution map, yeah, thank you for bringing my attention to the 4,000. Once I wrap this 4,000 inside the quotation mark, Excel does not recognize the number anymore. So I have to like, it has to be a number. Once I put it in a quotation mark, it becomes a string. And a string is different from an integer. So I have to like remove it from a quotation and it should be fine. It should be this guy and this guy. Let us see. So that's the happens. That's the happens. I really don't know right now. But I'm going to proceed because there's nothing wrong with my work. It actually does it for the guys that has more than 4,000. So this is what I want to do. I want to know how much. I actually don't know why it did this. So I want to know what's this name error here again. So okay, let's proceed. So I want to know how much I'm supposed to invest, and I want to do a nested if. I believe that's the next thing on the logical condition. So we've tried a simple if, we've tried a multiple if, we want to try nested if. So nested if is like how much do I want to store? Do I want to save? How much? So I don't want to spend too much time on the IFS, but the way I wrote it is like the correct arguments to write an IFS condition. State your ifs and then state your first condition, what it should break, the second condition, and what it should break. So yeah, how much should we invest? So we are supposed to invest any amount that is greater than 4,000. Like if I have more than 4,000, any amount that makes my money to be more than 4,000 is what we want to invest. So I'll just say, I'll use the nested if. And remember, the nested if, I say we can all our conditions inside and function. So if both of them are true, we can wrap it up inside an if function and we can specify the criteria that we want. So this is what we have. I'll first write an and function. So I want it to return true. So I'll say equals and. Say for the first condition is if expenditure is greater than 4,000. Please permit me to use the 4,000. I know some of you are suggesting that we use a number less than 4,000. And I'll also say the second condition is if this guy too is more than 4,000. I want to see my result. So it's giving us false. Remember, this is a logical function like or and. They either print for 4. So I can click here to do it for the whole guys. So we have the true, false, true, false. So this actually corresponds with this. Everything that is true here must reflect in here. Okay, so this one is actually what it is. This is and this is 4,000 and this one is 4,200, telling us that one of them is true. This one is also true, actually. But because of this 4,000, it is not really greater than 4,000. That is why this place is false. That's why this place is false. So that is the condition. If my income and my expenditure is greater than like this one and this one. So what I want to do now, please, um, pardon me with the background noise. This is beyond what I can control, and I don't want to disrupt the class by moving to another place. So function inside an if condition, saying if this is this. Now remember, this and now becomes our logical test. Then the value we want to print is that if it is true, how much do I want to invest? So I want to invest my income minus my minus 4,000. And then if it is false, I want to invest 0. So I can put this and put enter. So if you look at this guy is saying that I will invest zero at the end of the day. So I can flash I can also drag it up. My mouse is really behaving, so let's pardon. Okay, let me just copy this cell and then paste it here and drag it. This is like one of the common errors that happens with clicking and dragging. That is why double clicking is like the best option. I don't know why my mouse is jumping around. Okay, here we are good. So this is telling us that January I don't have to like make any adjustments. Here I can invest 1,000. Here I can invest 2,000. I can invest 5, 500 and 2,000. Okay. Yeah, let me check. So how did we get the how much in the column? So let me just do that again. So Ctrl Z. Let me just do that again. Please, so this column is empty now. As we can see, I've deleted everything that is there. So let us come again. This is our logic. Our logic is that I want to know how much I want to invest. And the deal is that if my income is greater than 4,000 and my expenditure is greater than 4,000, I want to invest any other amount that makes it greater than 4,000. I hope you can all hear that. Like, did you get that? If my income is greater than 4,000 and my expenditure is also greater than 4,000, I want to invest any amount that makes my income greater than 4,000. Yeah, so that is what I want to invest. Yeah, this background noise is getting really distracting. Okay, let's just proceed with some round. So this is how we do it. First of all, I want to write an AND function that combines those two conditions. The first condition is my income is greater than 4,000 and my expenditure is greater than 4,000. So I'll be using the logical AND function. Sorry, please give me a minute. Welcome back. Apologies for the brief quietness. I tried to change my location so that I would try to limit the noise. I hope I'm better now. Okay. So the formulas are on the slide, so the slide will be shared. All right, slide will be shared.
So this is how the function is. So first of all, we are considering two conditions and I want to combine them together. So I'm combining an and condition and I'm combining income and expenditure. So I'm using an and function. So I say equal to and that is first one. So and so the first condition is that if income is greater than income, I click on income greater than 4,000. The second condition is comma. If expenditure, I click on it, is greater than 4,000. So that is my condition. Now I've combined them out to see what it brings out for me. So this one is saying that my income and my expenditure is not greater than 4,000, which you can see it is false. Both of them is not greater than 4,000. If you double click here, we can see it will fill all the results for us. So we see that for this second one, my income is greater than 4,000, my expenditure is also greater than 4,000. You can see through there. This one is false. I have to buy 3,000. This one is false. And like that, and like that. Okay, so that is that column. Now I want to specify. Remember, this is just like a logic. If is what allows us to specify what to print. So I want to specify how much I have to print. So I'll put the if condition to wrap it inside open brackets. Like I want to wrap the whole and inside an if. So you have to like put it inside an if. And remember, in the if function, the first argument is logic argument. You have to state if this condition is true, that will give me the excess that I have on my money, which I have to save. So my income minus 4,000. So I'll do my income, click on it, minus 4,000. So that allows me to do that. So what if it is false? I want to print zero, which will tell me that I have to invest zero amount. So I click enter. It does this for the last cell because that is where I input the formula. So one way you can do this is you can copy this cell. Remember, it's a relative reference. It's not Steve. It is relative to wherever I copy it to. You can copy this cell and come and paste it up here. So you see it works, and then you can double click it. So this is the same reference error. We have to fix that. So what I'll do is that we have two greater than two greater than 4,000. Then this reference here, actually, we have to fix it. This reference is supposed to be B2, guys. B2, yes. So this is B2. So when I double click it again, yeah, see that it works. So that is how that works. I hope we get it now. I'll be getting on some people are saying I should kindly share the formula that I used for the decision making. All these formulas were they are on the slide. When I was explaining, I told us to like practice them. So I'll move on because of our time. The slide can be shared with us later. So you can catch up with the subsequent calculations when we get to the up. You can catch up. And the video is being recorded. You can watch it after the lesson and watch it side by side with the slide. That way you get it better. This is an introduction to data science class. So let us let us try to utilize time wisely. So the next thing I want to do is the sum ifs. The sum ifs. So that will make the last logical operation that I want to do. So this is what's going to happen. Okay, so if you I want to make some if here, like I want to sum all this money so that I know how much I have invested in a year. So I want to sum all this money. So I'll say total sum or total investments. Yeah, total investments. So I can say how much is my total investment. I'll write an if, some ifs here. So is equal to some ifs. Like I'll specify two conditions. I can try to specify one condition. Let us try that. Sum if. So it's saying, oh, what is the range of my data? So the range of my data, like the range of the text. So this is the range of my data income. I'll specify the range of my data. I click on the first one, control. If I use control down, control shifts down. So it's just supposed to be the last value. So I can come on. The next one is criteria. Now I realize that I have to set the criteria here. But I don't have any criteria yet. So I have to like set the criteria first. So allow me to escape, just press escape and set the criteria first. So I'll set the criteria here. Criteria. My criteria is 4,000. Remember, that's like criteria is greater than 4,000. That's the criteria. If it is greater than 4,000. So let us come back and write our formula. So we say equal to sum if this value, that is this value, this text, if it is greater than 4,000, you can see why criteria is needed now. If it is greater than 4,000, the criteria. So you click it, followed by a sum range. Where do I want to sum? Or what do I want to sum? So I can either use this or use this. Remember, these are the values that are greater than 4,000, which we have already printed. So I'll just use this. So sum this value because they are corresponding, and I can close my brackets. Let's see what that does. So it's saying that at the end of the day or at the end of the year, if I have invested according to my plan, I will have invested $9,500. Do we all get that? We all get that. Okay, so this is what will happen. I'll just type the formulas in the chat section. So for the decision, because I know it might be difficult for some people to catch up with the class. But for the decision, you can use equal to if, then you have C2 greater than B2, false, which is true. And then if it is not true, you copy. So this is for decision. And we also have one for the plan. So the plan is ifs, like multiple conditions. So if B2 is greater than 4,000, we want to invest. If C2 is greater than 4,000, we also want to invest. Otherwise, we are not putting an else condition here. So let's call this plan. And then for the how much, the formula is this. So I've pasted the formula in the chat so you can copy and implement. Okay, but for this total investment, you have to set the criteria of greater than 4,000 before you can use it. You have to set the criteria of greater than 4,000 before you can use it. So we have this for the total investment. So guys, this is all about logical. So I want to move on to the lookups now. I want to move on to the lookups now. So, okay. Because of our time, we'll be using these sheets. Let me zoom in so that we can see. So this is actually for names of students, their subjects, biology, physics, and chemistry. So I'll just be running us through VLOOKUP, that is vertical lookup, H lookup, the index, and the match. And then we'll dwell more extensively on X lookup because that is like the very useful one. So let's start with the H lookup. So H lookup, let me write here. You know, let me write so that you can see. We have H lookup. So the first argument is lookup value. So what value do we want to look up? So it is very important for us to have our lookup value somewhere before we start using the H lookup. So I'll have to like say, yeah, I'm sorry about that. So I want to look up for the names of people. So I have a name here. And then let's say I want to look for, let me look up for this guy because it's very close. Let me look up for Ibrahim. I have Ibrahim here. So I can say Ibrahim. Yeah, this is fine. Ibrahim or Ibrahim Abdullah. Ibrahim Abdullah. So what do I want to say? So let me print out this chemistry score. Let me just put chemistry. So suppose this is like a very long list and I want to find Ibrahim's chemistry report. So I already know his name. His name is on J3. So I can come here where I want to print the score and just do a H lookup. I mean a V lookup because it is vertical lookup. How could get it guys? A V lookup because it is vertical lookup. So I do this. So I'll do V lookup. We look up. So it says lookup value. Our lookup value is Ibrahim Abdullah. So where do we want to look at him for? Our table range. So I want to look for Ibrahim. Table, the data I'm actually using is the whole of my data. So that is how it works. So the whole of my data, I click on the first one, Control Shift End, if you remember, guys. That is how to select the whole of your data. So this my data is overlapping too much. I'll just press shift and move to where my data stops exactly. So this is the whole of my data, my table array. So I press comma. Then which column do I want to print? I want to print the chemistry column. So I'll have to specify this column and say the column index number is actually name is 1, mathematics is 2, English is 3, biology is 4, chemistry is 5, physics is 5, chemistry is 6. So I want to print the sixth index, the sixth column. And then what is my range lookup? My range lookup is from this 79 to control shift down to the end. So that does it for me. I'll just put the brackets behind it. So let me see what that does. If you see this, 6 in brackets behind it. So this is like a complete VLOOKUP argument. If I press enter key. So this is like printing 59 for all the guys. But if we check out the line, right? Oh, this is not correct. So this is the guy we are looking for. This is table array. This is the table index number. And this is the range to actually look up for. Yeah. Why is it printing the history for everybody? Okay, 1 minute, please. And that's actually Okay, yeah, I think I get it. So I think I get it. So the lookup range is actually an optional value, so I want to put in that. So let me see again. Well, Ibrahim is not supposed to be 59. I'm concerned about that 59. Ibrahim Abdullah is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So where is it printing 59 from? We have J3, which is our lookup value, Ibrahim Abdullah. And then we have our table array. I selected the whole table, so it's supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our column index number is 6. So let me go 5 and see. Oh, this is unfamiliar. Let me try another person. So this is the reason why it VLOOKUP is good, because you can just put in the name and it will look up for the answer for you. Hey, where do you see it? So, this is mathematics. I'm actually very conversant with X lookup, so I don't. Oh, so there's probably something wrong. So we can come back to the H lookup. We can come back to the H lookup. Okay. So we can come back to the H lookup. I'll check the reason why it is giving me error. I mean, V lookup. I'll check the reason why it is giving me error. We can actually look at the X lookup. I'm looking at our time so that we can go back to the slide. So that's one I'm very conversant with it, and we get the actual value because it can do for H and V and index and match so that we don't waste time on it. So let's just change this to X lookup. So I'm changing the V lookup to X lookup, and you realize that first thing is to look up for our lookup value. Then we look at our lookup array. Our lookup array is actually going to be, it's not going to be the table range. You don't have to specify the whole table range. You just specify the range you want to look for the name. So we specify the table, the list here, and then the next thing is specify the value where we want to return the number. So here I can directly specify chemistry instead of writing chemistry as 6. So that is why it is better than VLOOKUP. So I can go down and specify my range lookup. So if I enter that, you can see that returned 71 for non-DOB. So that 71 for non-DOB. So this formula is already in the chat session. So you can try it out. This is for the X lookup. So it does the work for, yeah, sorry, let me just Ctrl Z. I think I've missed something. So what if I change the name to Abdullah Ibrahim now? We see why Abdullah, how is that Abdullah guy? Ibrahim Abdullah, I can change him to Ibrahim Abdullah. You can change him to Ibrahim Abdullah, and you can see that it returns the correct value for us for the lookup. This is supposed to be chemistry. So for this guy now, so this is supposed to be chemistry. Yeah, so this is how it works for X lookup. So anybody gets that, so let us know. Anybody gets the X lookup, let us know. Okay, so this is a simple X lookup. So what if we have like, we want to do a nested X lookup, or probably we want to do a lookup with the white card. So let us try the one with the white card first. Probably I want to say, I don't know Ibrahim's surname, and I want to find Ibrahim. I still want to find him still, but I don't know his surname. I can use a white card to like find his score. But before that, I want to also be able to change the subject so that I can say, I can type chemistry here and I can get chemistry directly. I can type biology and I can get biology here. So that means that I'll be specifying two conditions. So the first one is that I can look for Ibrahim. And after you get Ibrahim, look horizontally, which is H lookup now for mathematics, English, chemistry, physics, biology. I can look horizontally for whatever subject. So let us go ahead and modify this code. Let us go ahead and modify this code. So I'll say name Ibrahim, subject, sample subject here. Subject is chemistry, so I'll change this to chemistry. Yeah, oh, chemistry. And then I can come and say score. Score is what? So yeah, the VLOOKUP formula. Oh, we have a problem with it yet, so I'll check that again if there's time. Like we'll do it again if we have time at the end of X lookup. But you can follow us on X lookup for now. I don't know why it was returning values that was not authentic. So, and that's not what it's supposed to do. So you can follow us on X lookup now. So we have this. I want to specify the name as a criteria. I want to specify chemistry as a criteria. So I want to also get the score. So I'm trying to do H lookup, which is look at the subjects, and I also want to do V lookup, which is look at the name. So I want to do those things at the same time with X lookup. So that is why X lookup is more advanced than V and H lookup. So we have equal to X lookup, X lookup, and we have what value do we want to look first? Let's look for the name first. So I click on this name, which is J3, and I specify the lookup array. Where do you want to look at it from? I want to look at it from this list of names, and then Control Shift down. So it allows me to do that. So, and after that, I'm supposed to specify the return array where I want to return. But I know that my return is also based on another condition. So instead of me to just write the return array now, the value I want to return, I'll just state my second condition. So which is going to be another X lookup, because X lookup, X lookup allows us to write nested in a nested way. So first to X lookup. Now, instead of me to write my return array, my return array can see it's highlighted, but I'll not write return array. I'll just write my next X lookup. So I'll just say X lookup again and say, okay, which value do I want to look up? I want to look up for chemistry. I want to look up for chemistry. So I click it. So the reason why I'm clicking it is because when I change this cell, it's J4, not chemistry. So when I change this cell to probably mathematics, it will still be J4. And where do I want to look at it from? Now I cannot specify the range of the subject. So I click on mathematics, I hold shift, I click on chemistry. So you can see this one is vertical, this one is horizontal. Now that is what makes X lookup better. So I can now specify my return array. So my return array now is any number from all these numbers here can be my return number. So I'll just click on this 71 and then, how do we go to the end of our data? Control Shift End. So I can press Control Shift End. but this is too much. So I can shift and the left arrow to come back, shift and the up arrow to go up. So yeah, this is what I want to do. So this is my range. So if I press enter now, I can see that Abdullah Ibrahim is Ibrahim Abdullah for chemistry scored 98. So if I want to see what is scored for biology, I don't need to do another code. I'll just come here and type in biology. You can see that it has changed to 94. So if I want to check what is scored for mathematics, I can just do mathematics. And then it has changed to 97. If I want to look for another person, say this girl, number 5, okay, Afolabi, I can just change the name to okay, Afolabi, and it will return a score for mathematics. So this is very seamless and very easy to do. So don't worry, the whole video and the slide will be shared with us. We can also see the formulas there and the other things we can try and see it there. So one more thing we can try is, sorry about that. One more thing we can try is the wildcard. Say I want to try their first name, I only know their first name, and then I want to use their first name to get the scores. So I'll still maintain the same code, but I'll be writing it again so that I can just type Funke and I'll get a score. So allow me to delete this code again. So it's the same thing I'll be writing, but so that we get it. So I want to type in X lookup and then so my lookup value now. So first of all, let me remove Afolabi from here so that we have only from here. So I come back here and say what's X lookup, and then I have this bracket here. So with this X lookup now, I have this opened. My lookup value is Funke first. Now I know that Funke is supposed to have a surname, but I don't have the whole surname. Like you understand? So I want to use a wildcard to specify the surname. So the wildcard, the way I can use the wildcard to specify the surname is actually write the and symbol, like J Funke, which is J3, and an asterisk. So an asterisk in this case now, I'm going to put it in a quotes because it is a text. So it's going to be color and quotes, then followed by asterisk, followed by another quotes. So this way, a wildcard can specify any character. So it's telling me that it is not only Funke that you see something else. But wherever you see Funke, just give me Funke and anything. Then I can now specify my lookup array, which is the name, and further specify. Now I'm supposed to specify my return array, but I also want to consider the subject. So I'll write another X lookup, X lookup, and then I would write a comma. Okay, first the brackets. Then what do I want to look? I want to look horizontally. Then what is my lookup range? My lookup range is actually from this guy to this guy. But I did not get to select that. So I'll just try it again from this guy to this guy. Wow. I don't know why that keeps happening. So let me just, my mouse is really bad. So I don't want to, I don't want to mess with the data. Okay. Wow, that's my favorite. So let's just use our normal shortcut. So our normal shortcut is Ctrl Shift. Then we have end. So I'll just remove the parts that I don't want. So guys, we are here, and then I can close the brackets with two brackets. Okay, so it says I've entered too many arguments. So I have X lookup, look up for what? Look up for mathematics. Yeah. Then comma. So yep. I didn't say not a number. So let's check again. So we have J3 and this guy and X lookup BF1, B1 to F1, and B2 to F6. This is actually correct. A2 to A26 and this. So I'll try to do something. Let me try to do something. I want to cut this one out. So I want to make sure that this white card works first before I do a nested function. So yeah, so it's saying the number. So J3 and it's not a number, it's yeah. Just a minute. Okay, yeah. So because we are using a white card, allow me to just do Control Z, so that I can have my, yeah. So if you are with me, can I see some emojis? Because this part is very important. You can see we are getting not a number here. And this is the reason why we have not a number. If you look at this place where we specified our asterisks, we have lookup value, which is what we have specified. We have the lookup array, which is what we have specified. We have the return value, which is this. And then we have the if not found, what should it do? We can specify that, but it is optional. But we are using a wildcard. We need to specify a match mode. So in this match mode, we can actually specify, we need to specify that we're using a wildcard. So and to specify that we're using a wildcard, we have to add 2 to it. Like, it is not only 2. I have it in the slide somewhere. 0 stands for return exact value. -1 stands for return a value that is lower than what we're looking for, approximate it lower. Then we also have a value that's 1 says approximate it higher. Then we have 2 that says use a wildcard. So that is why I want to use 2. But for this guy, for this if not found, we are not specifying anything. So there will be a comma. And then you can see match mode 0. We are using wildcard, so we are going to specify 2. So if we specify 2, we can have this. Yeah, we can see that that works. So I can actually type in Funke and Funke brings 65. I can actually type in Ibrahim and I don't need to specify his surname, and it will also return a value. So I can change this to chemistry and it will also return a value. So that actually works. That actually works. So that's about using a wildcard for X lookup. So now I'm going to I'm going back to the slide to explain more about how we can handle error in the next 10 minutes so that we can come back here. So let's just do it right now. So if we have this error, this kind of error, what should we do when we have this error? So in this formula now, this gives us error for the logical. So for this formula now, we can add a way to undo the error. So I'll undo it now and then we go back to the slide to explain it. So here, I have to write this whole condition inside an if error condition. So this is what it says. This is what it looks like. So let me start by writing it here first. If, oh, that's a mistake. So here, if error, we can see my screen, then we can open the bracket and specify our condition. Yeah, now allow me to do this. Okay, so that is not, it's not going to disturb me anyways. So if error, so if our condition is A2, let me use something that is not part of my data. So let me say J16, J16 is greater than 20. You know, this is not in any data, so I have to put equal to here. So this is not part of my data range. So if this is actually an error, so it will return error, like write error ordinarily. And if it is false, that it is not an error, it should actually return not error. So let's do that. So remember that when we are typing in Excel, we are typing in the text, we need to put it in a quotation. So we actually have this and this. So it's saying we have too many arguments. So let me come here. So the value is this. So if it is an error, type error. So we don't need this. Because if it is actually true, it will return the arguments that it is an error. So this is actually false. So this if error is how we can control errors like this when we have them in Excel. So if it is an error, I can just write don't invest. And that is exactly what I want to do now. So I have this. So here, the formula that gave us this error, we can actually modify it and control the error so that we can handle the error right from generating all this data. So we can say, I want to wrap this whole condition. Remember, this is one single condition. So I want to wrap everything inside an if error statement. So I can say, if this will give me error, open brackets, then I'll go to the end. I can say, comma, print, don't invest. And I can close my brackets. So this allows me to like control the error that is here. So let's see how that will work. So we can see that instead of saying NA now, which is not a number, it's actually allowing me to say don't invest. Then I can apply it all over. You see that we have handled the errors that are in this data now. So that is how to handle error in Excel. So allow me to stop sharing now and share my slide again. Okay, yeah, so we have error handling in Excel. So this is, so I said, when we write the formula in Excel, we might return an error due to some reasons, like we saw in what I've just demonstrated. Either the cell reference is not supported or the formula is bad. So handling error in Excel is an easy way to express our error, like to control them and actually get them to do what we want them to do. So there are three major ways to do this. So the first way is the one I just showed us, using the if error bar, like if error function. And this is how it is. So if it returns a value, if like a formula returns an error, it allows us to specify what we want the message to be instead of just writing NA or probably reference error or probably name error. It can actually allow us to modify the error. So this is how it works. So you say if error, then open a bracket. The logic goes first, then followed by what you want to happen, what you want to happen, what you want to make happen if it is actually an error. So we also have the is error. So this actually is going to tell us true or false. This is actually asking that, is this a error? So this one does not allow us to specify a particular message or not. This one will just say, if it is error, print true. If it is not an error, print false. So this is error followed by the logic, no addition, no subtraction. So we also have the error type. So this one will tell us the type of error that we have. So knowing the type of error help us to like solve our problem and know what to do. So there are different kinds of error in Excel, and it will not sometimes might not understand it. By now, you must be familiar with reference error, you must be familiar with value error, because you must have seen it one way or the other on the screen. You must be familiar with not a number. So if you want to know the type of error that your formula has printed for you, you can do error.type and close it in a bracket, your logic. So let us look at the types of error and what it means. Okay, I hope I still have time. So we have the first one is value error. So when you see something like this error occurs when the data type a function, when the function actually gives this is actually like a data type error. Like if you are doing a number and a letter, so this is a data type error. When the data types a function is given doesn't match what is expected. Like I'm trying to do addition, say 6 plus 4, and I have 6 plus car, like 6 plus car. It's going to return a value error because the reference cell is not supported. So that is why we can have a value error. So we also have this reference error, which you also seen. This happens when a cell reference is deleted or is removed. Remember in our second class, after clearing the date and the time when we deleted the column, it just give us reference error. So this reference error is always common when the reference cell is missing, it's been deleted. So we also have this divide error or the zero error. So this happens when a mathematical operation attempts to be divided by zero. Like when you divide something by zero, this is the kind of error that you get. Just tell you that. Even when you press it in a calculator, it will bring syntax error. So when you do search in Excel, it will tell you that it is an error. So you can know that, oh, this value is zero in, and that is why it is giving you this error. So this error appears when Excel can find the name range. So when Excel is trying to find the range, and probably the range that is specified does not capture any data, or yeah, when the range you have specified in your formula does not have any data, it actually returns a name error. So we also have the null error. This error gets returned, like it returns this error when Excel figure out the range in a specified cell. the range of the specified in a cell, like you have specified the range and Excel does not understand it. This one is really very common. Probably uh, after I have worked between different workbooks and worksheets, specified a null. So Excel returned a null value. So this one is also one of the ones that we have seen. This error happens when a function like matchup or VLOOKUP cannot find the value it is being asked to look for. So it happens when it cannot find the value. So it is like not a number or not available. Yes, not available. So this one is like, oh, what you are trying to, you must be familiar with this kind of sign. It's saying that the value in this cell is too long for me to display it. So saying this error occurs when the cell is not wide enough to display the content. So you see these hashtags like 6. So when you see the 6, it means there's actually a value there, but the value there is too long for me to display. So we also have this error. This error occurs when a formula or function cannot validate a numeric value. So this one is the one that says it is not a number. This NA is saying not available. So this is the kind of error that we have in Excel. And this is going to bring us to the end of today's class. So, like I said, the slides and the recordings will be made available to us. So, if there's any question, you can drop the questions and it will be picked, probably to be answered in subsequent classes. And tomorrow's class will start with the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. So we start with the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP so that people who don't have XLOOKUP in their Excel can actually get how to wrap around looking up a value and finding it. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining this session. See you tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, tomorrow's class will start with H and V lookup, so that for those people that don't get to have the X lookup function, we can get hands around H and V lookup. It's quite very easy to just the same way I have explained. It's just that I don't know why it has returned that the value is not available. So I'll look into the data and make sure I know what is wrong for the class tomorrow. So thank you very much, everybody. So have a good day.